Mm. Woo. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. For those of y'all who just tuned in, welcome. My name is Paula Chang. I am one of the co-founders of the Temboway, and tonight we've got part 4 of our Back to Basics series. I'm so excited that y'all are here. Joseph, what's up, man? What's up? So we got part 4 of our Back to Basics series. This week we've covered, starting on Sunday, we hit the finding your why, then we hit finding your where, then we've hit finding your how, but now we're going to talk about probably what might be one of the most important lessons of all. Finding your who. What up, Dan? Finding your who. Tonight I really want to kind of dig into this from two different aspects, but y'all see where I'm going with this. I want to start off by asking y'all one question. Y'all, what's good, bro? I want to start off by asking y'all one simple question. What makes the San Antonio Spurs one of the greatest current basketball teams in the NBA? What makes the Spurs one of the greatest teams in the NBA? Simple as this. They found their who. They found who it takes to make their team succeed. Simple like that. Not only do they have such phenomenal, fundamentally sound players, but they've got an amazing coach who not only focuses on what they need, but then kind of focuses on where they need to improve. That's what makes the Spurs such a great team. So how can y'all as students, how can y'all as undergrads, how can y'all as young professionals find your who? 2 parts. First and most important, you've got to find a mentor, right? So we talked about finding your where. How do you actually find a place that's for you? How do you actually find the place that's going to make you succeed? Finding your how. How are you actually going to go about establishing that place is actually going to make you better? Not only so that it impacts you, but it impacts you so much that you can actually affect change out there. How are you actually going to find that why? Why do I need to actually find this place? Why do I actually need to be here? Why do I actually need to pursue this, right? But now, you have that. You figured out why. You figured out where. You figured out how you're going to do it. How you're going to pay for it. $2.9 billion. I'm still stuck on that. Whew. But you figured out these 3 things. But now you have to be able to figure out who you're going to do it with. You have to be able to figure out who's going to get you from point A to point B. Find a mentor. The importance of a mentor is this. Mentorship is not about somebody telling you what to do. Right? That's just called having somebody who's making your decisions. That's parenting, basically, kind of. Not that I know, but mentorship is having somebody who's not only achieved the goal you're going for, but now they can kind of impart lessons to you, right? This is what I did. Because the whole point of mentorship, I think, is to lessen the amount of struggle you have to experience from point A to point B. That's what I have a mentor for. Lessen the pain you have to feel from point A to point B. Having a mentor is somebody who says, look, I went through your, like for example, for those of y'all who are part of the Temboway, those of y'all who are in the group, we're your mentors. Evans and I are your mentors. So we've gone through your struggle. We've gone through your process. We've experienced the things you want to experience, right? So we're able to tell you, look, we started off doing this, and along the way, I tried this, it didn't work. I tried this, it worked. I tried this and I got this result. I tried this and I got that result, right? But we're able to impart the lessons we learned from our pain. We're able to impart the lessons we picked up along the way to you. That's what mentorship is. I'm able to help you experience the least amount of pain with the most amount of profit. Find a mentor. Now, finding a mentor, you just can't pop up to campus and pull up and say, hey, you there, teach me. You actually have to be identify what you want in a mentor. Do you want somebody who's been in your academic track? Do you want somebody who has the same background as you? Do you want somebody who looks like you? Do you want somebody who has the same beliefs as you? You have to figure out what you want in a mentor. You just can't pick all willy-nilly. If that was the case, you could just walk out and find a stranger and say, hey, you be my mentor. Actually know what you want inside a mentor. That's the same way like people pick coaches, right? Teams pick coaches because they know what the coach is going to bring to the team, right? You can have a coach who is well established in one team. But unless they themselves can bring that kind of a success to this team, it's not going to work. Find a mentor that fits your needs. And in order to find that, you got to know what you want yourself. How, why, where, who. You got to know what you want yourself. But once you figure that out, then you find a mentor who can actually fit your needs. That's the first part. Let me choose the second one. The second one is your top 5. What we like to call here at the temboway the superstar squad. Right? There's this quote that goes like this: we are the sum, and I don't know if it was Tony Robbins or some other inspirational speaker that said it, but you are the sum of the top 5 to 6 people you surround yourself with and interact with the most. That's really what it is. Which means at any moment, whoever you decide to surround yourself with, whoever you decide to let into your inner circle, more than likely, you move how they move. The apple, in that case, does not fall far from the tree, because your people are the ones that define who you are. Theo, what's good, bro? Your people are the ones who define who you are. That means if you choose to run with people who are winners, you yourself by default will become a winner because you're surrounded by winners. And on the other side of that, and I'm going to say, if you decide to surround yourself with people who are not winners, guess what's going to happen over time? You yourself are not going to win. Why? Because you don't know what you don't know what it's like to win. You're surrounded by people who don't want it. You've got to find people who define who you are. You've got to find people who, I cannot find the word. English is not my first language, but who basically resemble the person you're trying to be through your undergrad experience. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't just come with choosing people who you interact with. It literally boils all the way down. And this is one of those lessons I wish I learned a long time ago. These are one of those lessons that I wish I learned coming out of the gate, right? What values and characteristics are your top 5 people bringing to the table? Are they the kind of people you could call up in the middle of the night and say, hey, I'm struggling with this and that, and they add value to you? Are they the kind of people where you're sitting in class and you don't quite get this? Are they the kind of people who do that genius thing where y'all are sitting in the same class and somebody opened up a Google Doc and y'all are typing notes in the Google Doc because you might miss something that they catch, or they might miss something that you caught, and instead of just sitting there struggling, it's all there in a central location? Do you have people who think outside the box? You've got to find your top 5 people who not only make you better, but at the same time, you have to make them better. I feel like I'm preaching today. Your top 5 people, especially when it comes to your undergrad experience, might end up being the people you lean on the most throughout the rest of your life. I can clearly tell you, for example, my business partner, Evans, right? He, besides my parents, the lady, and Jesus, not in that particular order, he's right there. Why? Because he's in my top 5. Because at any moment, I can reach out to him and say, yo, I'm struggling with this. Or, yo, I have this idea. And we were able to talk about it and dig into it and figure everything out. And we just come out winning. I mean, that's how Tempo ended up happening, right? We just idea, and then we said, hey, let's do this. And we did it. Your top 5 matters so freaking much. I was going to use another word. So much. Identify who those people can be. But again, just like your mentor, you have to be able to identify what you need in the top 5. Let's go back. The 1994 Chicago Bulls. What made those 2-time, 3-champion back-to-back winners so amazing? One, they had a superstar coach in Philip Jackson. And then they had a superstar team. Now, the crazy part is a lot of people think about the Bulls and they say, oh, we've got Mike Jordan, and that's what it is. No, they had other people on that squad. And what made them so great is they actually picked somebody that was already on a great team, and they said, we need that talent here, right? That's what it takes. So they had Michael Jordan, but they weren't winning championships. They had a superstar. Some would argue the greatest of all time to play the game, but they weren't winning championships. Why is that? Because Mike by himself could not carry the whole team. They needed a superstar team. So they went and got players who would make that system work. They went and got players who would fit into that team and make them become back-to-back champions twice. You've got to find your superstar team. And you've got to be able to identify what you need. And then once you found out, just like your mentor, once you found out what you need, even if it means writing out on a piece of paper, this is what it's going to be like in 4, 5, 6 years. This is where I want to be. This is where I want to succeed. And then you look at that and say, now, who can I add to that to make that happen? Because we can't do it all on our own. If you can, but if you can't, you have to find the people that will actually make you win. Find your 93, 94, 95 Chicago Bulls. Find your championship team. But once you've identified what you need, once you've identified the people that can make you win, guess what happens? You win. That's it. That's back to basics, folks. Find the people that will get you to the success that you want to reach. Nothing more, nothing less. Hey, if anybody has any questions, comment down below in the comments. Tag somebody that you know needs this. Tag somebody that you think might need this. Tag somebody that might not even need this, but maybe this would be great for them to hear. Back to basics. Find your superstar team. Find how you want to do it. Find where you're going to do it. And find the reason you want to do it. That's all it takes, folks. That's the key to success. Y'all have a good night. We'll catch you on the flip side.